Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Star Wars Nut77. Today I want to do a review over a particular Star Wars game I got, and I got it from a good friend of mine here on YouTube, Mike, also known as Sinistermoon. His link is on the sidebar here. Check out his channel, he's a great guy. But I figured in order to do this review, I wanted to invite my really good friend also, have a guest appearance on this particular guy knows a lot about video games, and I figured he'd do a little bit better review than I could, since I only know about Star Wars. So please, give me a warm welcome in bringing Gamester81. Welcome, Gamester81. Well, first of all, Star Wars Nut77, thank you so much for having me on your channel. It's a true pleasure to be on here. What you got here is actually a plug and play made by Jack Specific back in 2005. Now, as you know, being a Star Wars nut, 2005 was the year that Episode 3 came out. This is also during a time where plug and plays were immensely popular. If you guys remember, they had Miss Pac-Man plug and play. They had a Genesis plug and play. I mean, all these retro plug and plays. Which is interesting about this game, though, is there are unique games in here. There's 5 games in here. So let's take a closer look at this handheld, and we'll go from there. And thanks again for having me on your channel. So here's a closer look at this handheld Star Wars plug and play. Now, at first glance, it feels much, and it kind of weighs. It feels a lot like a Xbox, original Xbox controller. There's really nice grips on the back. The one thing I don't like about this plug and play is, check it out here. There's screws here. I don't understand why they did that. I know when I got Rock Band, the first Rock Band, the same kind of thing with the guitar, and it's super frustrating to get those things out. If you don't have the right screwdriver to get those out, you pretty much have to pry it open, which is a pain in the ass. So that's kind of a bummer. Now there's obviously your directional pad right here. This is the A button. This is the B button. Now, I don't know how you're supposed to know that. It's very kind of hidden. You got your on-off right here. You got your pause. Now, I just think it's a really cool looking handheld. There's, like I said, there's 5 games built in. So let's check out the 5 games. Let's check out the games in greater detail, shall we? Oh, and before I do that, it's got this mono sound. So these just plug in your TV like so. Okay. And the battery life is decent on this thing. Not too bad. Here we are at the menu screen. Graphics are like 16-bit quality, pretty equivalent to Super Nintendo. There's 5 games to choose from. Let's check out the first game, Droid Invasion. I will tell you, it always brings you to a menu screen. This game, I can't put my finger on it as far as what game this reminds me of, but the whole idea is you get these battle droids who fire at you, and you're supposed to deflect the fire and hit them, basically. Yeah, it's an okay game. It gets to be pretty tricky later on. It's almost like, it reminds me a lot like an alleyway Arkanoid type of game where you're on the bottom, and you know it's pretty easy to die in these games. These games are very, very difficult to play, actually. Obviously, these are targeted towards kids. I don't know how they do very well in these games. Coruscant Attack. This game reminds me a lot of Asteroids, but the controls are very, very difficult. It's hard to turn a certain way, and it's hard to know which way you're going. And if you turn too soon, you run right into them. This is probably my least favorite game of the 5. Graphics are decent. I think they could have done a lot better job with this game, quite honest with you. But, hey. And, I don't know, you're supposed to lay bombs or something. I didn't quite figure all that out either, but, you know, whatever. On to the next game, which is Grievous Onslaught. This game reminds me a lot of like a Zelda-type top-down old Zelda game. This is a very difficult game as well. If you don't hit them right, or if they fire at you a certain particular way, you get killed. The only thing I don't like about this game as well is you can only select one door to go into. It's not like a open area where you can just walk all around. There's a set door that you have to go into after you're done with a particular stage. And it shows you right there. This is probably one of my favorite games of the 5. On to the next. Gunship Battle. This game reminds me a lot of the game Helicopter. You know, I have on the 7800, and it's an old retro game, but you're supposed to pick up the troops down there, and then obviously it's almost like an R-type side-scroller shooter. You know, what's really sucks is when you're on the ground, you can't fire at all, so you're kind of pretty much at the mercy of getting hit, which kind of sucks. But the mission is you're supposed to pick up everyone and then kill all the enemies. Graphics are decent. The sound's decent. It's very difficult. On to the last game. Utopia Chase. This is probably... I take it back. This is my least favorite. For some reason, this reminds me of Bump and Jump a lot. Bump and Jump. The object is you're supposed to obviously survive and don't hit the walls. For some reason, the walls are like acid, and every time you hit the wall, you die. I'll show you some things that will happen here in a minute where when it's really cheap. Look, I mean, I'm dead. There you go. See, this is really cheap. I don't understand how bullets don't hurt you, but the walls are, for some reason... Look how much energy that takes away. It's ridiculous. Dead. That's cheap. I'm sorry. That's... The controls in this game are horrible. This is the enemy. Look, he's firing at you, and they don't seem to do much damage, but for some weird reason, the walls do a lot of damage. Anyway, you guys can kind of get the basic idea. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and may the Force be with you. Take care. Until next time.